So, hello everybody. Benjamin, how you doing?
Hi, Ben.
We're recording the podcast.
Say hi to the podcast.
We're podcasting. Say hi, Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hi.
Yes.
Okay. Bye, Ben.
Get out of here.
Oh.
Do a spin. Do a spin.
Do a spin.
All right.
So welcome to the American Dude Princess podcast.
That's who we are. I'm Andrea.
I'm Nina.
What does that mean? That's Grum over there.
Say hi, Grum.
Hi, Grum. That's Lily Lemley.
That's who I am. And Andy, tell the people what we're doing today. What is the focus of this
So,
episode of the podcast?
Since New Year's was 20 days ago.
Actually, 23.
So since New Year's was 23 days ago,
Thank you.
we decided to talk about all of the movies that came out in 2023, which was the year that was last year.
Which was the year before this one.
That's true. That's what it
It
was.
was the year that ended 23 days ago.
What?
So,
all the movies that came out this year were really, really good.
we all have our top 5, and we're going to go in backwards order, starting with our fifth favorite movie, and then work our way up to our number ones of the year.
You guys are
gonna love mine.
Lily's got quite a list over here.
And-
yeah.
So non-serious.
She
except
loved
for the first one.
She loved the deep cuts of 2023.
Oh, yeah. The deepest of cuts. Yeah, so 2023 was a really, really good year for film. I feel like it was equivalent to 2019 with how good the movies were.
2019 was a solid year.
Yeah. I loved it. I had a great time. In
A
all
lot
of
of
the
good
movies this year.
indie came out,
True.
which
Wes
was
Anderson released a crap ton of stuff.
which is interesting with all the like SAG and writers and actors strikes.
Yeah.
How much like good stuff was still
Right.
able to come out.
That's
which
true.
probably means this year is gonna kind of be
Not as
low
good.
because everything got pushed back.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think there aren't that many interesting movies that are coming out this year. But
Andrea was upset about it, how
yeah.
sad 2024 is looking on the movie front.
But you know what? We're gonna handle it, and we're just gonna reminisce with all of the nice 2023 movies that we were blessed with last year. So, my 5th favorite film of 2023,
And also mine.
and also Nina's, was Bottoms. Woohoo!
Andy and I went to see Bottoms together at the movie theater when it first came out, and it was, I think, one of, if not, no, not number one, but probably like my number 2 favorite movie theater experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
Following when we went to see Fast X together. Just because Andrea and I went to see Bottoms on like a Monday afternoon or something weird like
was
that
something crazy.
when we had the day off of school, and this theater was nearly completely empty minus like 3 20-year-old lesbian couples and one dude there by himself.
Yikes! And that was it.
And it wasn't like
And I think-
our little indie movie theater
No.
where the rooms are super small. It was a Cinemark. It was
It
like,
was.
it was so empty.
And the amount of noise that us as an audience made, the amount of noise that us as an audience made was absolutely insane.
You would think it was a packed house, the amount of like squealing and
There are parts of this movie that just shock you and that you just like have to scream, you know? Like, it's insane.
give us a little synopsis about Bottoms.
Okay.
Bottoms 2023.
So, Bottoms is about a pair of queer high school girls who decide to start a fight club to impress the girls that they like.
The cheerleaders they're into, yeah.
Cheerleaders that they're into, so they can get laid.
It has a really stacked cast. It is Iowa Dibry, recent Golden Globe winner.
Amen.
It is
Rachel Sennett.
Rachel Sennett of
Who I
Shiva
love.
Baby.
Oh, I love her so much.
And funnily enough, as the teacher supervisor to this fight club, Mr. Marshawn Lynch of the Seattle Seahawks.
Sure is.
Football man.
Football man.
No, this is just like the funniest movie ever.
Yeah.
it's so... What's really crazy about it is that it feels like it's a satire, you know?
Yeah.
But it feels really, like, surreal sometimes. Like, just the way that their world kind of works.
You
is
can't
odd.
tell what is purposefully a joke and what's
Right.
trying to be earnest. It all,
Right.
like, blends into this weird CW satire zone where it's just, like, 40-year-olds playing high schoolers and, like, the most... I think what Bottoms does is it takes dark humor and does it very, very well.
Yeah.
It does not do the thing of dark humor just being racist jokes.
Right.
And it also doesn't do the thing that a lot of media has done recently where it tries to be very, like, politically correct and aware and therefore makes it unrealistic.
What I love about Bottoms is that, like, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but, like, the characters are just fucking freaking awful people.
No, they suck. All of them.
I think that's really interesting. We talked about it before, but it's really, really interesting seeing characters that aren't, like, sanitized like that. And they're really, really funny people, too. Like, what an amazing cast. Like, the writing is just so good. And, like, there are so many things about this movie that shouldn't work, and it does. Like, it works so well, and it's just so funny.
We had such a delight seeing this movie.
We really did.
And yeah, it's definitely a standout of this year.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You need to watch it because it is freaking hilarious. Tell us, Lily, tell us.
Lily, your number 5?
My number 5. I'm quite proud of it. So my number 5 is Fast X. Fast and Furious 10, the 10th one. Starring Jason Momoa. Oh my god. He is so baby girl.
He is incredibly baby girl.
But to set the scene, Nina, Andy, and I, we go, hey, we should go see Fast X in theaters.
Because we saw the trailer and we said, that looks dumb.
awful.
That looks like the worst thing ever. Yeah.
So we go to my place of employment, Panera Bread.
Panera Bread.
And we go get sandwiches and soup and bread bowls and
giant
mac and cheese, and
giant bag full of crap.
Heck yeah. And then we go to Crumble Cookie because Nina Linlow had a gift card. And we get some Crumble Cookies and then we shove them into a freeze-dried strawberry bag.
This is because we could not fit the full Crumble Cookies bag into any of our tote bags.
So we smuggled
so much food.
Each person had a full meal. Plus those massive Crumble Cookies.
We had like 6 of those.
Into this movie theater in which we just sat and watched the 10th Fast and Furious movie while eating like full meals and dessert. And it was opening night of Fast X 2.
Do you remember?
There was not that many people there.
And it was sadly empty.
I feel like there were enough people there that they got annoyed when we were like making
When
fun
we
of
were,
the movie.
crinkle that bag for me. When we were in the theater going,
we would be fantastic Foley artists. I know. Realize.
But I think my favorite part of us going to see Fast X, other than just the comedy of us going to see Fast X, is that before that point, not one of us had seen any of the other 9 Fast and Furious movies. We entered this movie purposefully, completely blind. We had these tickets like months in advance.
Oh my god.
The movie was in May. I think we got tickets in February.
Yeah, we did.
So we had so much time where we could have like prepared and learned like what these movies are, and we said, no,
we're gonna go in
so much funnier.
it just made it so much better. There was one scene where Gal Gadot came on screen.
Yeah.
And the audience gasped. And we were going, who? What does she mean to the plot?
Like, there were whole reveals of, like, reoccurring characters, like, Brie Larson is a reoccurring character, and then it was just us being like, hey,
yeah, like
Vin Diesel.
Jason Momoa with his little hair and pigtails.
No, I think that the main appeal for us for this movie was the experience of going to go see it, and oh my god, it was just so ridiculous.
Let me tell you, Fast X is not a good movie.
No.
Like, we have discussed before that there's a difference between things being good and being enjoyable.
Yes.
Fast X is pure enjoyment, no good. That movie is ass, start to finish. It looks bad, it is acted poorly, it is written poorly.
Except for Jason Momoa.
Momoa.
Like, I don't even, like,
Give him an Oscar.
I think he killed his part. You guys
did.
can think whatever you
no,
want
he
to
did.
think,
It was hilarious.
but he was the best thing in that movie.
him as a villain was very good.
He was obviously having like the best time of his
Yeah.
life too.
But no, this movie was so atrocious, which is what made it so fun to see, like, going in with the mindset of this is going to be atrocious. Like,
Yeah.
I feel really bad for diehard Fast and Furious franchise fans, because I will say, because after this movie, I have watched the old
Yeah.
Fast and Furious
You
movies.
did do that.
They're good. The
Yeah.
old ones, they're good. They're, like, really enjoyable action movies. So I feel really bad for the diehard fans who have had to watch this franchise get, like, pummeled into the ground and, like, turned horrible. But as 3 teenage girls who had no like heart put into this,
and one of us who has a big crush on Jason Momoa because of this movie.
it was completely fun,
Wondrous.
start to finish. We loved it. We came out of that movie theater giggling and quoting the whole thing.
Oh no, she's in peril. What will you do?
This movie was our like main personality trait for a solid couple of weeks
That's
after we
true.
went to see it.
Sure was.
I think it changed our brain chemistry a
I
little
think
bit.
it
Sure
did.
did.
Yeah. No, amazing movie.
Anywho.
What are our number 4s, Andy?
So,
Let's start with you.
my number 4 is Priscilla. I love this movie.
Yeah.
She sure does.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It oh my god. Sofia Coppola is like genuinely one of my favorite Nepo babies ever.
I have.
Love me a good Nepo baby.
Lily hasn't seen Priscilla yet,
spoil it.
but Andy and I have, and I agree. I really, really love Priscilla. I've seen, I think the like standouts of Coppola's filmography so far. I've seen like most of her big stuff. Mm-hmm. I think the only one I'm missing is like The Beguiled and The Bling Ring, which
Those aren't that.
as of right now I'm okay missing out on.
I've seen almost every single one of them except for Somewhere.
Yeah, no, Priscilla's really good. Keep talking about it. I don't, because it's on my list earlier, so
okay.
I'll have my time to talk about
Right.
it. So you have your time.
So yeah, it's a really interesting movie. It's based on Priscilla Presley, who was married to Elvis. Mm-hmm. It was based on her autobiography. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like the combination of Sofia Coppola's...
I'm gonna be a daddy.
We'll get back to that.
I'm gonna be a daddy.
No, I think the way Sofia Coppola like goes about it with her very unique, you know, sad white woman style is like the perfect thing for this story.
It was a very good vehicle for it.
Absolutely.
Like what we're in right now.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, we're in the car again.
My car. Lily's car.
Lily's car.
Grum's car.
Grum.
Apologies.
We love you, Grum.
I love you, Gringle and Gris.
Aww.
No, like the cast is also fantastic. I mean, it's just a really, really interesting story, and like even though like not a whole lot happens, you still feel a lot for her because she's like just really lonely.
Yeah.
And like it'll definitely change the way that you look at Elvis, I feel like.
Yeah. I think it being compared to Baz Luhrmann's.
I feel like that it makes a really interesting pairing.
Yeah. I think like being able to compare the two of those, having come out really recently, and the differences and how they portray that story, and like obviously
it's really interesting.
you can look into like obviously Baz Luhrmann being a male director and like the kind of male versus female lens that went into creating the both of those. It's a really interesting
and I feel
parallel.
like both of their styles, you know, like these stories like complement each other, but they also like clash, but not in a really terrible way, you know? Like with Baz Luhrmann's really extravagant, you know, sort of loud,
neon bright. Yeah.
crazy, you know, editing and stuff compared to the really understated parts of Priscilla. It's really no, I love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah.
I love pairing those.
And what did watching Priscilla make you do recently?
Oh.
Tell the people.
So Andy
Watched like 6 Elvis movies in a
row.
Not movies about Elvis. Movies starring Elvis.
Yeah.
And she hated it. She texted us being like, I hate looking at Elvis's face. And we're like, no one is making you do this.
I feel like this was an interesting, comprehensive film education for me to watch all of the Elvis movies. I I don't care.
She don't care.
I don't care. No, amazing cast too for Priscilla.
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi.
Oh, sorry.
You just made such a good Elvis noise.
I feel like no, Jacob Elordi is an amazing Elvis. He doesn't look anything like Elvis.
No,
not even a little bit. But he is like he's a really, really good actor, and I feel like he's really good at doing accents too, which is something I really appreciate about him.
Again, compared to Baz Luhrmann's version with Austin Butler's Elvis, I think the difference in the way they portray those characters is also very interesting. I found Jacob Elordi's to be so much more subtle.
Yeah.
It made Elvis feel more real.
Yeah.
Than in Baz Luhrmann's, he was like this icon. He felt almost like fictional.
Right.
Like just in the way that he did it. But I think Jacob Elordi was able to really make it feel like human, like realistic. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I really liked the subtlety in which he played that character.
And yeah, no, back to his amazing accents. There is one scene in this movie where Priscilla tells Elvis that she's pregnant, and he goes,
I'm gonna be a daddy.
and it is really, really funny. And
Andrea and I watched this together, and we rewound the movie 3 times in a row just so we could re-listen to his pronunciation of that line.
it was so funny.
It's so good.
But yeah, no, he does really amazing job. And the girl who plays Priscilla,
Yeah.
Kaylee Spaney, I think is how you pronounce her name.
Yeah.
She also gives a fantastic.
No, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of things that you could dive into with those characters together. Yeah, really good movie. I love Sofia Coppola.
Okay, so my number 4, which is a different take than Andrea, was Saltburn. We've all seen this one.
I love this movie.
Oh, I'm still buckled. I've been buckled all through
We have
Tron.
been stuck driving for a while.
So I watched Saltburn, I think, last out of everybody.
Yeah, you
Yes,
sure did.
I did.
Because
Last out of everybody.
I watched it first, so
That's
screw
true.
you all.
I watched Saltburn on New Year's Eve with Andrea. She made me watch it with her. No, I really enjoyed this movie. Not to the extent I think either of them did, which is mainly because I think the main appeal
Nina's
of this
a
movie is
lesbian.
sexy man, and I am not interested in Jacob Elordi. I do think he's really hot.
You're so hot.
But anyways, this is gonna be so weird. I liked Saltburn for the plot.
Thank you,
God, you
Nina.
sound like an anti-feminist.
I know. I'm not like other girls. I liked it because of its depiction of class structure.
No, here's the thing. Nina definitely didn't like it as much as the rest of us did.
No.
Because I watched it 5 times.
This is not.
You've watched it 5 times?
Andrea can talk about Saltburn when it comes up on her list, which, trust me, it is on. This is my time to talk about Saltburn. I liked Saltburn. I kind of, since I watched it last, I feel like a lot of the, like, excitement and appeal was kind of worn off by the time it got to me. Like, I had kind of had all of the major moments a little spoiled for me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your guys' fault. It's just the internet. Like,
It's an extremely popular movie on the
Yeah,
internet, which we'll talk about because I've got things to say.
but,
Andy's got things to say.
no, I still really liked it. I thought it was, like, so incredibly well acted. I think every performance in it can
Barry
be...
Keoghan, man.
Oh my god,
Barry.
Barry Keoghan was insanely good. I loved,
He went all out, man.
what's her butt?
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike, I really loved her. I thought she was, like, hilarious.
Is that the
amazing.
sister or the
No,
mom?
it's
the mom. But no, I really did like it. I know that Emerald Fennell has had, like, very debated, like, her 2 movies, her big 2 of Saltburn and Promising Young Woman, of being kind of, like,
They're controversial.
fake
for sure.
activism or,
Yeah.
like, activism done poorly. I haven't seen Promising Young Woman, but I really liked how, like, class structure and kind of, like, just rich people and all that was presented in Saltburn. I don't think it was done poorly. I think something that Andrea has said a lot is that people have taken this movie much more serious than it is.
That's true.
And are trying to, like, treat it as something that it's not. Because at its core, it's this silly, goofy movie about
Right.
this weird little kid who's like, rich people, and does some depraved things.
That's true.
But no, I thought it was really interesting. I thought the portrayal of Felix's family was really subtle
Yeah.
and really good in its like irony and its satiricalness. I think it's very easy when portraying characters like that to make them really over the top and like
For sure.
kind of ridiculous and unrealistic. But the complicated thing about Felix's family is that you feel bad for them, but you also don't. Like,
Right.
you recognize them as being these really privileged, kind of bad people, but they don't deserve the things that Oliver does to them. Like, nobody does. Like, not the weird sex stuff at the beginning, the, like, weird...
The rest of it.
The rest of it at the end. But-
Wink.
Wink, wink. But no, I really liked it. I thought it felt real and honest, but while also being like this just ridiculously campy thing.
Yeah.
I think
People need to, like, there are not enough people who appreciate camp. When they
No.
see it, they don't know how to recognize it. They
think-
just say, that's bad.
I
And-
think camp has always been this thing that camp is made for the weirdos. It's made for the freaks and the people who aren't watching mainstream movies. And I think that's why so many people have shied away from Saltburn, is it's kind of proof of this resurgence of camp as a genre. It was obviously so huge in the 90s with directors like John Waters. And I think now it's kind of having coming back with movies like Bottoms
Yeah,
to a
and I
lesser
feel like-
extent than Saltburn.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
don't, like, not to sound like a douchey film bro, but I do think we have been force-fed so much, like, commercial Marvel movies that people don't know how to handle movies that are weird and not normal. And so, yeah, I think if you go into Saltburn expecting it to be like a Cannes Film Festival, beautiful, tragic story of the class and structure, you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, for
But if
sure.
you go into it being like, silly, goofy movie, you're gonna...
Barry has to keep his
Wiener! Wiener.
I was gonna say a bad word.
Ding-a-ling.
His thingy in his pants.
But no, I really liked Saltburn. I thought it was well done. I think it... Yeah, I really liked it. I'm excited to see kind of this reemergence of, like, not only camp, but of, like, truly weird movies.
Yeah,
And-
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I think, like, a huge part of this, like, why it's so popular is because it's a big movie that is gross.
Yeah.
And it's, like, it's definitely not afraid to be
No,
gross.
but
And-
it is. To me, it feels very reminiscent of like John Waters at his grossest,
Yeah.
making drag queens eat like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, camp is coming back, and it's coming back hard. Like the weird aspects of it, and
Like, people just need to learn how to, like, appreciate it being gross.
Yeah.
You know? Like, some of the gross scenes aren't even, like, that bad, you know,
Yeah.
compared to a lot of stuff that we see in smaller movies.
Yeah.
Like, especially with early, like, Yorgos Lanthimos. I don't know how to say that. Like, with early stuff from him, it's, like, compared to that, it's just, like, not that
It's
bad.
tame.
It's tame. Like, and... I don't know.
y'all
I
need
think-
to watch that movie. The 100 Days of Sondheim, and then get back to me on
Sodom.
Sondheim is. Yeah, watch 100 Days of Sodom, and then get back to me on how disgusting Saltburn is.
Okay, my turn. You talk about my number 4.
Yeah,
Okay, hang on.
let
okay.
Lily have that.
Mine was 80 for Brady. Andy and Nina haven't seen this. I watched that movie like 4 times last year, I think.
times.
4?
It was a lot. It was
Okay. Shush. I thought it was adorable. I just liked these little old ladies being cute little old ladies.
Of course.
Going and fangirling over Tom Brady, because I know that's what I'm going to be like when I'm 80.
Fangirling over Tom Brady?
Yeah.
No, it's
I'm
gonna be
I'm gonna
every Styles.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 70 for Styles, you know? Like,
80 for Harry. 80 for Harry.
I don't know, it's kind of like Fast X.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to the movie. The plot is boring, but it's just cute.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's so nice to see little old ladies just having a good time.
Sometimes you need just a sweet little movie.
Absolutely.
They're with their gal pals. One of them hates her husband.
Uh-huh.
And so she gets to go out and just win a wing contest. Guy Fieri is in this movie.
Will you tell us what this movie is about, please?
I just did.
Little old ladies fangirling for Tom Brady. That
That's
is the
the whole
plot.
thing?
That is the plot.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's more to it. Like, they go, they get these tickets to the Super Bowl. They think they won them in a contest. Do you want me to spoil it?
No.
No.
No? Okay.
Don't spoil 80 for Brady for us.
There's some twists and turns. and
What?
they have a fallout. There's some edibles at some point.
What? Illicit drugs.
Uh-huh. They think they're normal gummy bears.
Marijuana is not good. Don't do marijuana.
We don't condone
To be
marijuana.
fair, all of these women are in their 70s and 80s.
If you're gonna do pot, do it then.
Yeah. Like the grandpa from Little Miss Sunshine doing coke.
That's true.
Yeah.
I feel like there aren't enough movies about little old ladies.
No, not nearly enough.
Or like in the movies, they're evil.
Right.
Like I've recently watched Greta. Like, why can't we just have little old ladies who lose their purse in the subway and a little nice gal comes and returns it to her?
No.
And then they go crazy for Brady, you know?
They go 80 for him.
They go 80 for him. We need more movies about little old ladies.
I do think it is like so not fulfilled.
Make you feel good?
No, about
Okay.
Brady.
Like a Tom Brady advertisement
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like it feels like he was very much like
involved.
yeah. He was like, I'm big and popular. I'm gonna make a movie about me where little old ladies fangirl over me. But it's also cute. My grandma really liked it. Okay, that's all I have to say.
So yeah, Lily loves 80 for Brady.
I sure do. I recommend everybody watch it if you need like a movie where you can just turn your brain off. Andy's reading.
Her number 3 is
The Holdovers.
Hold Over. Ah!
We talked
Bless
about this
you.
one already on our Christmas episode.
Sure did.
But
I have seen it since then.
she has seen it since then.
Nana's crying.
It's so good.
It's fantastic. It's so sweet.
And I want Paul Giamatti to win an Oscar.
Yeah, it recently got nominated for a lot of Oscars. 5. It won a lot of things recently.
Golden Globes. And
Lots of
Critics'
Golden
Choices.
Globes. I am really happy that that's happening because, oh my god, what a cute movie. They really don't make them like that anymore.
I'm gonna be honest. I was scared that it was gonna be kind of like Dead Poets Society,
Oh,
just in the sense that it was like,
I get that.
yeah, I got
Like, it has
scared.
that vibe a
It
little
does.
bit.
It
And
does.
especially with like we talked about in the Christmas one, like how it looks like a 70s
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the style of the filming and all
And
that
it being
kind of
a
stuff.
boys' boarding school.
Yeah. But I know it's not in my top 5, but
Yeah.
since I hadn't watched it when we
Right.
made the top 5,
Go on.
Yeah.
but I really liked how they had like the different dynamics and
Mm-hmm.
the character growth, and it was real and
Really sweet. The kid who plays the main kid is really awesome. It's
Yes.
his first movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm really sad he didn't get like a supporting actor
Yeah.
nomination because for his debut film he was
That-
incredible.
It's insane.
I very much appreciate how they added in real themes, like the cook, I forgot her name, but like
Divine,
her
the
son and stuff being dead, and then like showing that hurt and pain around the
Trauma.
holidays.
Yeah.
Like it's good that they brought light to people who have to go through that every year.
We're all really glad that this is getting a lot of recognition because, I mean, it really deserves it.
For what it was, I was really scared that it wasn't gonna, like, people weren't gonna care about it.
Yeah,
Because it's
sure.
not a super well-known director. The actors are all, you know, they've been around. Like, Paul Giamatti has been in fucking everything.
That's true.
But he's also... but Paul Giamatti isn't, like, a household name for most people.
Right.
Like, you could look at him and go, oh, that guy. But if I were to say Paul Giamatti, most people wouldn't, like, think of him.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited that he's getting a lot of recognition. The actress that Lily was talking about, Divine Joy
Rudolph?
Rudolph, I think, something similar to that.
Yeah.
She's been around. She was in a TV show adaptation of High Fidelity with
With the guy's daughter.
yes.
Catwoman.
But no. So, yeah, no, but this movie, I was really worried that people weren't going to care about it because it is just this, like, sweet, subtle indie film.
I'm shocked at how many people have seen it. Like, I talk to people and I'm just, like, surprised that they've also seen that movie because,
Yeah.
I mean...
We saw it at the Lyric,
Yeah.
and I feel like every time we see something at the Lyric, it's, like, weird little things that nobody else is going
Yeah.
to see.
But no, I'm really glad that this is getting recognition too, because it's just amazing and it's timeless, and I can't wait to watch it again next year.
Yeah, Andrew and I walked out of the theater crying.
It's true. We cried pretty hard.
It was rough.
That was a good one. Okay, Nina's
Nina.
third is
Priscilla,
which we talked about.
Yeah,
Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah. One thing that I really enjoyed that you didn't touch on, but I know you agree with me on because we've talked about it, is how well Priscilla portrayed Priscilla Presley as being really, really young
That's true.
when
Yes.
Elvis met her. Like, I felt like...
In the 2022 Elvis
Yeah,
movie,
Baz
that is
Luhrmann's.
something that they did not
They
talk
just
about.
gloss over. She's just some chick.
Yeah.
She's like barely
She
a
isn't
character.
14.
No, but in this movie, I'm not sure how old the actress who plays her is. I think
20-something?
Yeah, she's.
Damn.
But for however they did it with like makeup or just costuming and hair design, she looks young.
She looks really young. She
looks-
sounds really young.
She looks like a high schooler. I'm sure she's not. I'm sure she's like my height. She's probably like 5'3", around there. And then Jacob Elordi's like 6'5".
So
Yeah.
freaking
So
tall.
just all of that, it made her look really young, which
And
she was.
Especially like when she's near Elvis, like you can just see how much like obviously like
Yeah.
symbolism and
Yeah.
stuff, like how much bigger he is than her, like how much
Yeah.
power that he has over her.
But no, like the first half at least of the movie, Priscilla is actively in high school.
that's true.
Like,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it just makes you resonate with her even more because it makes you feel like kind of uncomfortable. And then I'm not gonna spoil it, but Elvis does kind of like introduce her into a certain lifestyle that is very kind of dangerous and risque, and knowing that she's so young, being like exposed to all of these things is very
It just
sad.
seems to like not matter to him. you
Yeah,
know?
it's just I really liked how much Sofia Coppola like really showed that aspect of their relationship. Like obviously at this point in her life, Priscilla Presley like doesn't, I don't think, have that much bad will towards Elvis.
Right.
She loves him.
Absolutely not.
But like still showing that aspect of their relationship I think is really important because to a certain extent she was groomed.
Yeah.
He was a grown man. He was already famous. He was in the military and she was a freshman in high school. Like it is icky.
In the beginning especially, it's like down Elvis. Don't do that. Please stop.
But no, I really do like what you were saying about like the difference in like color skating.
Yeah.
Like Priscilla was very subtle. It was a lot of like pastels and lights and kind of shadows, and it just made everything feel more real. It felt like you were actually watching people, human beings, not like icons like in Baz
Right.
Luhrmann's Elvis.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't seen it, but I think it's really good that they shone the light on these
Yeah.
kinds of relationships, like because it happens so much in Hollywood. And
Yes,
it
yeah.
gets braised, glazed. Holy moly,
Gets braised like a turkey.
It's braised over, you know. But it just like people like pass over it and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's fine. They're famous. And
Especially in the time of like the 60s where it was like, he's famous, he can have whoever he wants.
You know
it's
what's-
not that weird that he picked a teenager.
What's kind of hilarious is that I was watching this Elvis movie the other day.
yeah, that is hilarious.
I think it was Blue Hawaii. Shut up. Shut up. I've made my choices. I will not be shamed for them.
You should be.
But in Blue Hawaii, there's this high schooler who's trying to get with Elvis's character, and he's like, "Stop! You're in high school." And my mom and I were giggling because we were like, "Huh? That's not him."
But no, I really enjoyed Elvis. It was, I think I'm willing to say it's my favorite Coppola so far. I truly did enjoy how I think it's really important with Elvis being as big of an icon as he is, getting to show his story through Priscilla's perspective. I think she is someone who
Knew him really well.
was a massive part of
course.
his life,
Yeah.
but has been like incredibly overlooked in people talking about him. And I think that Sofia Coppola just did an incredible job portraying her story, and a very
Yeah.
kind job. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like...
She's also just really cool.
Yeah.
Priscilla's awesome.
She's sick. No, I saw literally a TikTok today of some girl being like, can you imagine being Elvis and then some director comes along and drags your name through the mud?
Like, okay, what pisses me off about this, like, I think it was, Lisa Marie also
Yeah.
said something like this is terrible.
Yeah.
Showing him as like a terrible, terrible person, and it was like, it's literally based on your mom's book, love.
It's
like
literally her life. Like, it's not like they're saying, Elvis was a pedophile. Ew, he was.
Yeah.
and it's not like
He didn't, and the interesting thing is they showed that, like, he didn't, like, sleep with her until they got married.
yeah, that was a big thing.
That was a, like, big part of the book and also the movie, but, like, still, don't. Excuse me, mister, can I invite your daughter over to my house party?
I think too, though, the fact that like people are so upset about these kinds of things, where like things resurface about dead celebrities
Yeah.
who like they're terrible people. Like people are like, well, they're dead. You're disrespecting them. We're just telling the facts, people.
Yeah.
Like you can still separate the art from the artist. I know
Yeah.
it's hard, but like you can still like your people. Just don't. It's kind of a lesson to not idolize people.
Yes.
I say that as if I don't have 17 Harry Styles stickers around my car.
This is something
But-
I've thought about a lot, but something that really weirds me out and makes me incredibly uncomfortable is the glamorization of celebrities
Yeah.
and the way that we as people put them on these pedestals of they like
They're better than everybody.
they're
when
not
they're
humans anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's some kind of a thing of like cancel culture where I think that's stupid. I think people should get canceled if they do bad things.
Yeah.
But people being like, oh, you can't, why would you like say all these horrible things about Elvis? He was a human being. He did bad things. People do bad things.
That's
That is
true.
just a part of life. And if you are to only see Elvis through this perspective of like, he was the king of rock and roll, and like just see him as this icon, you are never going to see him as a human being. And you
Yeah.
have to see celebrities as human beings. It is like so important to recognize that they are people.
With Priscilla too, it's really interesting because it doesn't really seem to take a side either. It's really just like telling her story.
Yeah.
And no, I think it's really amazing the way that they do that.
I think the best thing about it is just that it's based off of Priscilla's book, so it is truly her story, and also she was directly involved with it.
She was a producer or something, I think.
Yes, so
But she-
people like being against Elvis, not being against Elvis, being against Priscilla, I don't understand, because that is like as honest as their story is going to get. Like if you are to compare that with Baz Luhrmann's, no shade to that movie, I think that's a good movie. Elvis wasn't a part of that. He couldn't look at that and say, this is real, this is what happened, this is how it was. Priscilla wasn't a part of that, and she's the second best person to be able to say
Yeah.
that. So you know that Priscilla is like gonna be the most honest, closest adaptation to
Right.
his actual life that you're gonna get.
True. Yeah.
Anyways, Lily, what was your number 3?
It was Saltburn, I think.
Yeah, well, Saltburn.
So
Tell us what you think,
let
Lily.
me tell you about Saltburn from the bisexual perspective.
From the horny perspective.
So when I watched it,
Randy.
Randy.
when I watched it, I was texting the group chat. I was going,
You were.
ew. Sorry to all the headphone users. But I just really enjoyed the movie. I liked, like, kind of like Nina said, I loved that you can watch the movie through a lens of, oh my god, hot people. Oh my god, crazy hot people. But then
Yeah.
you can also look at it through the perspective of like classism and all these like really real world topics. But then
Especially what we were talking about before, like worship of like celebrities.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
think it does. That I feel like is the more important aspect rather than the
Everybody
class
loved
disparity-
him.
Disparity.
yeah, because like
Do your Barry Keoghan impression of the opening monologue. No, bad. I said opening monologue. I did not want to hear you make slurp noises into the mic.
Oh my god, what are the first words?
I don't remember.
Just do the like. Everybody wasn't in love with him.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't in love with him. I know everybody thought I was, but I wasn't. I loved him. It was impossible not to love Felix.
But that's the thing too, is like they
Thank you,
show
Andrea.
how even just in like like real world societies,
Yeah.
like just the pedestal that we put even just rich people on.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody loved Felix. Everybody wanted to be Felix's best friend.
Yeah.
They wanted to get invited to his house and they wanted to go to his parties.
Yeah.
And it's just, it shows that people can let their like not mental health issues,
Yeah.
but just like their obsessions like take over them.
Yeah.
And Barry, Oliver, really so badly just wanted, who knows what he wanted. He wanted to dance naked through this mansion.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert!
I feel like everybody knows by
Yeah.
now that's how it ends.
I think Oliver is a really complicated character in that you can never really tell, one, who he truly is.
Yeah.
And you can never tell what his motivations are. Not to bust out my HL theater knowledge.
Oh, go
Kill
ahead.
yourself.
But a really common practice in acting is the first thing that you want to do when creating a character as an actor is figure out what their motivations are. Like, that's something that actors have in their heads just as they're acting. So it's really interesting with Oliver that you can never really tell what his motivations are. That's not to spoil it. I'm sure everyone's seen it, so I'm not going to spoil it. But, like, a lot of things are revealed at the end that Oliver's intentions are not what you originally thought them to be.
Yep.
So I think it's just like really interesting watching that movie, trying to figure out what it is that he does want, because
Yeah.
it's confusing.
I think, like, I feel like a lot of people critiqued that part about it, like that he wasn't a solid character and you
I
didn't know what he...
liked that.
Yeah, I
think
like
it
that
made
too.
it better.
I think that made it more convincing, because that's like the point of his character in his relation to the other characters, is that none of them really know him.
Right.
So when you as the audience also don't really know him, I think that makes it more of like a immersive experience. of,
Like,
I feel like we just need to, like, let go of
yeah.
going into any movie, letting go of, like,
Stereotypes.
Just
yeah, like
knowing everything.
stereotypes and knowing everything and, like, having a plot structure, you
Yeah.
know, that's not important. Like, there are different things that go into making a good movie.
Andy likes movies that are just vibe.
Yeah, it's true, I
See,
do.
I think that his character being like sporadic was good because
Yeah.
I'm a very critical person when it comes to movie plots.
Yeah.
Like I go into it going, he's gonna fall down the stairs. He's gonna open the door and someone's gonna jump out. Right?
Us watching Tron.
Like I go into movies with that mindset. And so I thought this movie was going to be like
Predictable.
a weird gay love story. Like I thought
That's what it looked
Oliver was gonna be romantically and hopelessly in love with
Yeah.
Felix, right? And so I went into it with like a brain rot mentality. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here on my phone and just let this play in the background, and then
You're like, huh?
and then the first thing happened, and I went, oh, oh, and so I like. It's the kind of movie that like turns your head without you
Yeah.
thinking it's going to.
Yes.
Like, I mean, obviously with the internet and people knowing what's going to happen in the movie,
Yeah.
you can go into it like that. So I was lucky that I watched it early and I was able to like put things together in my head. And I do like movies that make you think. Like movies where I'm like, wait, wait,
Wait a minute.
wait, how did he do that?
I think
Is it a murder on the dance floor?
You better not kill the group.
DJ. No, but I liked what you're saying. But even as someone who did kind of have certain elements of it spoiled, like I'll just say very vaguely, the bathtub scene.
Yeah, we all
Amen.
know about it.
I knew that was coming.
Andy and I liked it.
I was still like shocked by certain scenes. Like I'll say very vaguely, the funeral scene was very
Oh,
shocking.
that was
to me.
weird.
The final scene with Oliver and Rosamund Pike's character, I was completely not expecting. So I think even knowing
Yeah.
like certain elements of it, I still got to have that like, oh my god!
Oh,
Like,
God!
totally, I agree with you. It definitely like plays against what you think it's going to be, and I think it was advertised in a very purposeful way to try and kind of make you think that. Like I remember before it came out, the only advertising I had seen of that whole movie was Jacob Elordi's eyebrow piercing. That was
Yeah.
like the only thing that I
Sorry,
knew,
I got a little randy.
like before that movie came out. So but yeah, it's really interesting.
It's very, very interesting.
And it makes you... I'm sorry to keep yapping
No,
about
go
it.
ahead.
It, like, in a weird sense, I'm not going to say the sense. You guys will get it. But,
Yeah.
like, it makes you realize things about yourself. Like, things that I thought I wouldn't like, I'm like...
Hang on a minute.
Lucky for you, I'm a vampire. Moving on, I'm gonna cut it off right there, Andy.
You
Number
made, it,
two.
you made it weird.
I know, I did it on purpose.
Okay. So I feel like I forgot to order these properly, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the third one. The next one that I have.
Second, I think.
Huh?
Second.
No,
Oh yeah,
wait.
second place. But yeah, I feel like it should be a little bit lower. Not that I didn't absolutely adore this movie so much.
Yeah.
So obviously it's the third movie in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy.
Yeah. Standout part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Absolutely, especially with like what we've been doing now with
Yeah.
them.
As much as I love female superhero movies, they're not doing them good.
No.
But Brie Larson was so pretty in the Marvels, and also Tessa Thompson was there, and they like basically made out.
So yeah, I have a very personal connection with the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I love them so much. Like, those are two movies that I grew up watching like over and over and over again. I really, really love them a lot, and I think they're really, really funny, and they're really interesting with like the sci-fi aspect, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of sci-fi movies are just, you know, the same.
Yeah.
But this one is, you know, it's interesting, even though it's like it fits into a bunch of different movies. But I was so nervous going into that movie, thinking like, at the rate that Marvel has been going, like, oh my god, I'm nervous that this is like gonna ruin these two movies that I love so much.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. It was an amazing conclusion.
James Gunn is a spectacular superhero movie maker,
That's
which is
true.
weird. But he has recently been charged of rebooting DC, the DC Cinematic Universe, which I am ecstatic about because
DC movies suck right now.
yeah, they're all
Except for the Batman with Robert Pattinson.
but no, like he has done one DC movie with the Suicide Squad reboot, and then obviously the 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he just, I think, makes some of the best superhero movies.
Yeah, he's just so funny too. Like, just some of the best
Horrible example.
comedy in, you know, big movies like this. I was just so happy that these movies and like these characters that I care about a lot got a really good, interesting conclusion.
Yep.
And I was like nervous that they were gonna leave like a huge open end for like
Yeah.
all of the other Marvel movies to pick up these characters that I love so much.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, they didn't. The end is really interesting because, you know, I feel like this movie knows how to. this movie knows how to like end it, you know.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
I haven't seen the third one yet, but
Okay.
I really enjoyed the first two. But I've seen like clips and themes from it, and I really appreciate how the Guardians of the Galaxy series in a whole, like, it's able to portray like the serious topics
Yeah.
as well as the funny comedy. Like
Yeah.
with Rocket's whole backstory,
Yeah,
like all that
that's a big
stuff.
thing.
Like, as my little environmentalist little self, I like. It makes my little elementary school self so happy to see that there's like
Yeah.
awareness about that kind of stuff. And I know it's obviously to an insane level, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just so pleased. The soundtracks also are just so amazing.
good.
As per usual with
Yeah, I feel
Gun.
like I might have said this before somewhere else, but I feel like those movies really shaped the music that I listen to now. Like,
Yeah,
a lot
it
of it shows, apparently. I listen to a lot of really old classic rock stuff.
Radiohead.
Yeah.
And
And
Radiohead.
Weezer.
I don't listen to Weezer anymore. Fuck you. Beep. No. Yeah, also, I'm really glad, like, that they got to expand with the music genres and decades at this movie, because lots of fantastic needle drops. When Creep started playing at the beginning of the movie,
Creep acoustic version.
Creep acoustic version, I loved it. I got so excited. No, I love it. They make me really, really happy, and I'm glad that they know where to end it. Which is, that
A lot
makes
of
me
times
happy. It's
with
very
Marvel, they push it further
Oh
than
my
it
god,
needs to
it's
be
so
pushed.
annoying. I am sick of like movies not ending.
Yeah.
Really, where it's just like, this is gonna happen in the next one, and you'll see Beetleborp from the Beetleborp from the Condorp system.
Shut up!
You're the one who said it. No, I'm talking about
Oh,
the Marvel
okay.
movies. I want them to shut up about Beetleborp.
No, it's
People in
it's
this
really,
board.
really refreshing seeing this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, we got that. This is
Nina no.
No.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Holdovers.
Holdovers, yes, was my number 2. Andy already talked about it, but it's a super good movie. It's like a lot of people have said it's the next Christmas classic, and I completely
sure is.
agree. It's going to be a yearly rewatch for me. It's just like so cozy and warm and like beautiful, and it shows. I am a sucker for a movie that shows non-conventional forms of love.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so real.
Like
for
those like
that.
father-son relationships and stuff.
and just like the like friendship between Paul Giamatti and Divine Joy.
What's her face?
Like I
What's
like
her face?
like their connection was really good, and like I think it kind of does similar things where it is something that you don't expect it to be with the main kid Angus, such a bad name. Being like obviously this really angsty little teen, but also having these like really sad and complex backstory.
Yeah.
And no, I just thought it was like so beautiful and warm and inviting, and it made you like, and it's what it is it's about these loners finding connection with each other. It is though. It's these people
it's
who have
not
been
like just a Christmas movie
No.
either. Like it's genuinely one of the best movies that I've
Yeah,
seen.
I'd watch it
No.
not at Christmas.
It was incredible. It was just about these lonely people finding connection in each other and finding joy and kindness, and it was beautiful. And we were talking to our English teacher about this, and she said that as a teacher she loved Paul
Yep.
Giamatti's rendition.
And he's stinky.
She said, and he has a wonky eye, and he's stinky.
Just so lovingly.
But no, she said that she, like, as a teacher, really loved his portrayal. I, as a student, loved his portrayal.
Absolutely.
Of just, no, it was so...
It's so sweet.
And
it's like, it's tropey, but it's also like really kind of original. Like with...
I haven't seen much like that.
Yeah.
No, it was just... And I loved what Lily was talking about of it being, like... Obviously, it came out this year, but feeling old.
Yeah.
Feeling, like, very nostalgic. Like, as someone who has never been a teenage boy in Boston in the year 1970... I felt a nostalgia for this movie.
Right.
Like, I felt like, oh, when I was a kid in Boston. I've never been a kid in Boston.
When I parked the car in the harbour.
When I parked my car at Harvard Yard. But no, it was just, I adore this movie. It was so good, and I hope it wins all the Oscars, and Paul Giamatti is my best friend. After you guys.
Yeah.
What's next?
Is
Oh,
it me
turn
turn?
telephone off.
Okay, it's okay. I got it.
Lily turn.
I think it's Barbie.
I am-
It's Barbie.
yes, Barbie.
Yes.
It wasn't highlighted, so it blends in.
No, I know. That's what I said. Okay, so my number 2 was Barbie because I really like Barbie. As cheesy as it was, it's got those undertones that
Yeah.
are like, oh boy, and
Smash.
hot women.
Yeah.
I know that's like not the point of the movie, but like
It
I
can
get
be.
it. I
you
understand.
can't stop a randy teenager.
Thank you,
But
Lily.
You're welcome. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it anymore.
I feel like it's been talked about a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
I've exhausted my points, but it was just such a big moment of the year.
for sure.
We all No, Lily didn't do Barbenheimer in the same day.
Sure
No.
did not. I would have killed myself.
But Andy and I did.
We did Barbenheimer. It was pretty exexhausting, but
Oh,
also
God,
totally
it's so
worth it to be
long.
part of such a historical moment.
I can tell my kids about it, and they'll be like,
Mom lore.
where were you on Barbenheimer? And I will say, Fort Collins, Colorado.
Anyways,
Yeah.
it's your number 1, Andy.
My number 1?
Yeah.
You don't have anything else to say about Barbie?
No.
Okay.
It's respectable.
I think it was Saltburn.
It was.
It
It's
was.
Saltburn.
That's the only one
Saltburn
that's left.
is genuinely my favorite movie of the year. I love it so much. Barry Keoghan, hot tub
You want your
slurp.
notes?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Oxford student. He gets really into this rich, charming young man who he spends the summer with. And he is one creepy little creep.
Sure is.
And I love him.
Andy loves it.
He's amazing in that movie.
Smooth talk.
I think it's really interesting that, like, even if it's ginormous right now, people are, it's like,
Indiana, fuck that.
and people are like, you know, upset about it and like talking about it.
Yeah.
It's still really interesting and new that people are having these conversations about things like that, especially around the sex things.
Yeah.
I think that's
People
really
can be kinky in the mainstream.
they did what?
I think some of the sex scenes are kind of real, though. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, they're made to be more kinky than they are.
Yeah.
And then the vampire one, I know you guys know which
No,
one I'm talking about.
Andrew
but
and
it's like, it's such a real thing that needs to be normalized.
Yeah,
is-
Andrew and I have talked about that one. I'll spoil it, so if you don't want spoilers for Saltburn.
Also, if you are a teacher,
We apologize.
maybe sit this one out.
No, but I'll spoil it. There's one particular scene in Saltburn in which Barry Keoghan's character, Oliver, has oral sex with, I'm being clinical, has oral sex,
He put his mouth part on her.
shut up, has sex with Felix's sister. But part of that is that she is on her period. And he says a really gross line, but we don't need to talk about that.
You already said it, asshole! You didn't have to slap me.
Sorry. But a lot of people like freaked out about that scene and thought and put it on the same level as some other even more gross scenes in the scene. I will just say, and teachers, please turn this off. Women who are actively menstruating still deserve to participate in oral intercourse.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, it is not that gross and weird. Fluid.
I think it's not even just the oral.
Deal.
It's like sex in general when you're on your
Yeah.
period. There's so much stigma about it, and it's all like, even just periods in general.
Yeah, for
like,
real.
oh my god, you're a woman? You're bleeding? Oh my god, have you ever been kicked in the balls? How about that?
Yeah, no, but it's considered to be like so unclean for a woman to be on her period, and I think that's a big part of the stigma between
How do
period
you think
sex.
you were born, y'all?
Like,
Where do you think you came from? Like,
But
it's natural.
It's such a massive part of people who
Womanhood.
have uteruses' lives. Like, we spend years out of our life actively bleeding. It's not like something that people can control, two, that like happens never. It happens all the time.
All the time.
And like, women shouldn't have to like sit out on sex just because they're on their period.
Yeah.
I think it is a little bit ridiculous how people are like saying that is one of the like grosser scenes. Like,
Of
it's
all
not-
the scenes in Saltburn.
Sure isn't.
It definitely isn't, because like that was just it was so normal, and I feel like people are just not used to seeing it.
My
and
mom made gagging noises.
She
at
did.
it.
She
Which
did.
is why it's such a good thing that it's like being spread around, because
Yeah.
it, like I said, it's normalizing it. Like,
Yeah.
it's showing that there shouldn't be all this stigma around
I don't think anyone
sex in
should.
general, periods
Yeah.
in general.
I feel like even like people are talking about this movie, and I think that's important, because even if they like write it off as something that's weird and terrible in their conversations, they're still
Yeah.
having conversations about it, and it's still like sparking, you know, things.
Conversation,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's really, really important.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Also, really, really, really good cast.
Yeah.
sorry.
The guy with the beautiful teeth, Archie Madwick.
The thing she is referencing is Andrea and I, as one party, watched Saltburn in the same day as my parents watched Saltburn as a separate party, which can be a whole other story. But after they finished Saltburn, we went to go talk to them about it, and we were talking about like the cast, and my mom complimented that actor by saying he has very nice teeth.
It was so funny.
Was it the one who played
Archie.
T?
Yes. Beautiful chompers.
The
The black cousin with
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Corbin blue hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Anywho.
Yeah, we love Saltburn. Nina's number one is Barbie.
Barbie, I know, like, and this is so stupid that I know not people who listen to this podcast, because nobody listens to that
No,
podcast.
absolutely
But
not.
people in general are going to be like, "Well, she's a teenage girl. Of course Barbie was her favorite." Yeah, because it was so good,
So
guys.
meaningful.
It was like, it was the most comedic, I think, of all of Greta Gerwig's movies.
For sure.
Which is interesting because obviously Lady Bird is a comedy movie.
I think that was just the Margot Robbie aspect of it,
Yeah.
because she like helped with
Yeah.
everything.
But I think also Barbie was like the most mainstream accessible of Greta Gerwig's movies so far in an interesting way, but that's also not true because Little Women, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I adored Barbie. It was the movie that I rewatched the most times over 2023. I adore that movie. I think it is also kind of a good example of like camp kind of having a resurgence. If you think of like the Ken fight and all of that, like it's just silly, but it also has, you know, such that beautiful message, and people are like ridiculing it or saying it's too heavy-handed
Or saying
like,
that it's not enough.
yeah,
too.
like people, and that's like the whole point of the movie, is that things are never good enough for people when it comes from women. Like, no matter what, someone will find something in that movie to critique of. The feminist aspects were too heavy-handed, or they weren't there enough, or it was too goofy, or whatever. It was so good. It was so diverse, and it got so many women's stories out there and made them feel represented and seen, and like it was devastating. And aside from that, there was the really interesting aspect of like motherhood, which was beautiful and tragic and like hard to watch and experience. But no, I just adored this movie. I thought it was absolutely beautiful, every second of it. I think it's like funny and hilarious and incredibly well acted and incredibly well written. And I am so upset that Greta Gerwig did not get an Oscar nomination for Best Director or Best Original Screenplay or anything. I am pissed that Margot Robbie did not get an Oscar nomination. As much as
it got Best Adapted.
Did it? Oh, it did. As much as I loved Ryan Gosling in this movie because he was hilarious,
he didn't deserve as much as he got.
Ken is not an Oscar-winning role, and it feels like they're poking fun at that movie just by nominating him.
Yeah.
Because he is not going to win. Let's be honest. As incredible as he was in Barbie, he is not going to win Best Supporting Actor over Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, or like, he's just not. It's not an Oscar-winning role. So, for them, I don't know. I'm glad he's getting nominated for an Oscar because he was great. But the fact that so many of the other women who were involved with this movie aren't being recognized hurts a little bit, and it's sad because it deserves so much recognition for what it was, because it really was like a very cultural thing for a lot of girls. Like,
that is the hardest I have cried in a theater, honestly.
Andrea had a hard moment watching Barbie, but no, I just loved how it was able to like connect so many women over like just this movie. And men have made fun of this and like they don't get it. But no, it was so beautiful, like Barbenheimer, but really the Barbie aspect of it, of people like dressing up and going to see it, and people taking their moms to go see it, or taking their daughters or their sisters, or like,
yeah,
it's just so good. And I can talk about this movie forever and ever.
I think too, with like the aspect that people are saying that they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I had a coworker who was like, "Oh, you know what?
Sorry for the loud car noises.
Go ahead.
Girl." Okay, so like the people criticizing it, like I had a coworker, he was 25, he's a guy, he didn't think it was funny. Right? Like, and that's because it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was feminism 101. Like, it is the most basic, accessible level of like feminism that you can really have easy access to.
Yeah.
Like,
if men want to understand the struggle of women, have them watch Barbie, because it is presented so plainly for them.
But it just goes right over their heads, because they're like, I feel bad for the kids. What about the kids? It's almost like that's women in real life.
Isn't it? It's so mean the way they treat the Kens as objects and don't let them have positions of power. We have never had a female president. Not once.
Yeah.
Anywho.
That's all I had to say about that. Anybody, anything else on Barbie?
No, good movie.
So my number one
we
was
got like 20 minutes.
the new Spider-Man movie.
Into DC. Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
I adored that movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, the animation,
Amazing. I love those movies because of that.
The way that, like,
oh my god, so good.
they show each of the characters personalities through their animation.
Yeah.
Like Hobie's, I don't remember what frame it was, but it was a frame slower than everybody else's. So his character seemed more like comic booky. Like he seemed like the character that he was, and just like, I'm obviously not a person of color, right? I'm as white as they come. I'm Italian and German and Polish. I'm like
blonde hair, blue eye.
Yep. But like, I am happy of like the representation of black superheroes, right? Like Miles Morales is Puerto Rican and black. Like he is such a good representation of
Afro-Latino.
Just normal people in general, right? Like there isn't enough representation of that kind of stuff. And then having a female Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, her, oh my god, her animation was my favorite. The watercolor, it was, oh my god, and the drums, and oh my god. Anywho, it was such an impactful movie for me. I probably watched it 10 times.
You watched it a lot.
I watched it a lot. It was easily my favorite movie of the year. Like, it was one that never got old. The soundtrack was so good. The message is there. And with like the SAG strikes and stuff, we have to wait till next year for the third movie. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like the message was not similar to Barbie's, obviously, because it was like a different message, but like, it was just such a good movie that shows such good representation and such good animation and writing and voice acting. And
no, I definitely agree with you how it can be similar to Barbie, just with like, there are so many different ways to connect over the same thing. Like with Barbie, there are so many different ways to be a woman and to like have pride in womanhood and who you are. And with Spider-Man, it was like, you can come from whatever different background, whatever different place, and still be a hero. You can still be, you know, a good person who saves the day.
And
Sorry. Go ahead. What I really, really love about these movies is that obviously the animation is fantastic, and I think that it's causing like a lot of other movies to sort of like take inspiration from that, and I'm really glad, because I am sick of CGI movies.
I know.
And I think that like hand animation is just like so much more personal.
Oh my god.
And even though it takes like so much longer, I feel like it's
so
just
beautiful.
It's just more important, you know?
Those movies are so insane and how well they're done. Like, I remember when the first Spider-Verse movie came out, and I think it was 2018. It like changed animation when it came out.
Absolutely,
how something could be so intricate and also so modern, and it like blew my mind the first time I saw it, where it was like, movies can look like this. This is insane.
It's just
And I think the second one does so well with the same thing, where you could watch every frame of that movie a million times and still miss something. Just how intricately it's done.
I think that's why I watched it so many times. And going back to what Nina said about like, you can be different kinds of Spider-Man. God, what's his name? The villain?
I don't know, Oscar Isaac.
The hot one. The
Miguel
Miguel
O'Hara.
Oscar Isaac.
I very much appreciate Miguel O'Hara's character, right?
He's ripped.
He is ripped, that's for one. But for twos, he shows a very real character. Like, he shows a mental struggle that a lot of people have, and obviously he doesn't execute it well, but he shows the like, I'm the brooding leader, my family died, I tried to save it, and it just fell to pieces, and now I'm trying to protect everybody, but everybody thinks I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. And it's a good portrayal that like, you can be seen as a villain and have good intentions. You just don't execute them.
Maybe don't try to murder a 15-year-old about it.
It's not his fault that your spider got loose. Like, that is not his fault. So, I don't know. Oh my god. Oh, I love Spider-Man.
She loves Spider-Man.
2023 was an incredible year for film. We're movie nerds. We watched a whole bunch of movies.
Andy's got something to say.
A couple that we're just going to list real quick that we did not talk about.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, and also all of his short films.
Yep. Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, which I love. I love Cillian Murphy. Good stuff. Pretty good. You know.
A little too war-y for me.
Yeah.
Definitely a little too long, but I thought it was really good.
Poor Things. None of us have seen it yet, but we're excited to see it. We've heard it's really good.
Yep. Killers of the Flower Moon.
We all saw that.
Nina, not having it.
Hey, no. I really liked Killers of the Flower Moon. I thought it was really well acted. I thought it was really good. I also thought it was about 45 minutes too long.
Yeah, Nina don't do long.
Yeah, what I have
movies.
written down for that is
That was
it's
a separate
long.
issue.
It's long, but it's an important story.
Lily Gladstone was
Oh my God.
so
She's
good.
so amazing.
And she is absolutely my
Thank God
hope
she got nominated
and
for an
pick
Oscar.
for Best Actress because oh boy, she was like standout best part of that
So
movie to
good.
me. Past Lives.
Nina saw that one.
I saw that one. That one was this really, really good story. If you're into foreign films, it's really good. It's like partly in English, partly in Korean, but it's like just this really good love story about these two people connecting after a really long time. But it's also about like finding love in adulthood and also the struggle of like coming from different backgrounds. Obviously, like Lily said, I'm not an immigrant. I don't know the immigrant perspective, but the way it's portrayed in that movie, super beautiful.
Maestro, we don't.
Whatever.
Who is that even?
Bradley Cooper shouldn't have worn a prosthetic nose to play a Jewish man. That is, yeah. Okay.
Anyways, Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh my god.
Nina hated it. I hate courtroom dramas.
Everybody thought it was the best thing ever. It was 3 hours of French court and snow. I couldn't do it. Anyway.
The Boy and the Heron.
Ooh,
We all saw this
sweet.
together.
It
I
was,
saw this twice.
it was-
really good.
it was
really
beautiful.
loved
It was really cool to see on the big screen.
Nothing could have prepared me for Robert Pattinson's voice.
I need to
Andy-
see a video of him making that voice to believe that it's coming out of
Andy
his mouth.
even said, she was like, you guys are not gonna believe this. And I still didn't, I still wasn't prepared.
No, it's an amazing movie. The score is really good.
So good.
It's Ghibli never ever misses.
Obviously, the animation is gorgeous.
Yeah. May, December.
May, December. Oh my God, I loved it so much. It was so good.
Andy's the only one who's seen it.
Charles Melton.
I'll
holy
probably
cow,
watch it before the Oscars.
Is getting snubbed.
Yeah.
Okay, he did so amazing, and you know he deserves so much more because oh my God, what a character that he played. How he played it so well. I love him.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
That's just a thing that came out.
I saw that. It was fine. It was
My grandparents were really excited that they saw a movie that I haven't seen yet.
it was a cheesy action movie. I watched it with my dad. Haley Atwell was really hot in it. And also, yeah, it was fine. And Napoleon. None of us have seen.
Nope, not
that's
gonna.
just another movie that came out.
But,
I think.
yeah, that's it.
that's
That's all we have. So, good year for movies. We like movies. We watch lots.
All of them.
Thanks
all the
for
time.
listening, Morley, for the first 10 minutes.
Thanks for one listen.
Woo! Thank you, Ben Lawati, for the first 5 minutes of this that you listened to.
Ben, please don't hold the things that I said in this against me.
Goodbye.